Hi VC, it's Aaron, Mutha Alamere. Today I am responding to the KISS vinyl tag. Now, this might be the first vinyl tag ever made in a VC. I'm not sure. I've only been in the vinyl community for about 3 years. But Dylan over at the Record Spinner started this, and he claims it's the first one, so it probably is, and that's very cool. Dylan's a huge KISS fan like I am. It's his favorite band. Of course, I have 3 favorite bands, Clutch, KISS, and the Beatles, and they're all just about even with me. It's hard for me to say who I like better. There's different parts of my life and different genres and totally different. But KISS has been one of my favorite bands since the 1980s. I was born in 1970, but I was a late bloomer to KISS. I mean, of course, I knew of KISS in the 70s. I knew some of their songs, a couple songs here and there. And I actually watched KISS Meets the Phantom of the Park when it was on TV live. I mean, not live, but when it was first out. And back in 5th grade, or 4th or 5th grade, I had my KISS made up as Peter Criss for a school fair type carnival thing they were doing. But I just never really got into their music until later. And back in the 1980s is when I first got into KISS. During the non-makeup years, when Asylum came out, that's when I first got into KISS, and then it all exploded from there. They became my favorite band within a year because I discovered the whole back catalog and all that, and I'll get to some of this. But okay, let's start out. There's 10 prompts here. I can answer all but one of them, well, 2 of them, but I'm going to kind of stretch it on those. So I'll kind of make it interesting. So first up, and before I go on with this, Dylan is the one that created this, but I discovered this from my friend Pete at Pete CD Vinyl World. He did a response to this, and that's how I discovered this tag. And I will leave links to both of their videos, to Pete and to Dylan's videos in down below there. So you can go check those out. They're both killer. They both did a great job. So the first prompt is the first step of the cure is a kiss. This is how Dylan presented these. And so you're supposed to show the first KISS record that you've ever received or bought. So like I was saying, I got into KISS in the 1980s. And this is actually, I'll show kind of a couple things here. This here is my original KISS Asylum, the first cassette I ever bought. And I was just amazed at the drumming. It starts out with King of the Mountain and the drumming on that, and it just blew me away. Loved this album ever since. I really think their 80s material, which is pretty much heavy metal, is very overlooked in their catalog, and it's some of my favorite albums from the 80s records, like from Creatures of the Night to Hot in the Shade. Those are all like top 10 records for me. Well, they've got all good 70 stuff, and they're all good. But this is my original first cassette here on Polygram. These old cases, and here's the J card. But I will now show a couple of records here. And the first one I actually bought is right around this time in the 80s. There was a new record store that opened in my local town. It was only open for like a year, but they had a bunch of KISS records in there. And so this is one of the ones I bought from them. And this is the first one I actually bought on vinyl. Was KISS Dynasty. There was a few others. I can't remember the others. I think it was like maybe Hotter Than Hell and Alive. Not Alive. Hotter Than Hell. A couple of the solo albums. One other one is coming up, A Creature of the Night. A couple others. And I bought a bunch. But this one I'm positive is one I bought from them. It's got a little bit of a bad spot here. I need to get a new copy. This sounds great though. And I remember putting this on, and I wasn't really familiar with KISS's back catalog. Here's the inner sleeve. And putting on, I Was Made for Loving You and being totally blown away by it. I had no idea that was a KISS song. And here's the label there. And it just totally blew me away. And I love this whole album. Hard Times became one of my anthem songs for high school. I just love this album. And it actually came with the poster, which has been very well used by me over the years. I'm always looking for a new copy. It's just a huge poster that comes in here. Let's see if I can do this without totally screwing it up. You know what? It's too big. But it does have the poster in here. It's here. So that's always killer. I used to have it hanging up on my wall. I wish I wouldn't have, but when you're a kid, I was in high school, I had my whole wall decorated with KISS stuff. And so that was the first one I actually bought. And the first one I received, which is just right close to after that, was I was in Portland, Oregon, and my Uncle Jeff gave me this, KISS Alive, and it's still the same copy I have. It's got all the, it's got the booklet in here. Of course, everyone knows this album. But, so this is my first, one of my first introductions to KISS too was Alive. kind of beat up there. But here's the vinyl. It's on these labels here. Still sounds really good. And, you know, the booklet, of course, is in there too, which everyone knows. You know, this booklet here. Very cool. You know, that's just classic Kiss there, you know. Doesn't get much better than live. Okay, so next up, prompt 2. Germany was really neat. And I love how he's taking these from Kiss songs. Show a German pressing with the censored logo. Now, I've got a few of them. This is the first one I had. I bought this back in the 80s, late 80s. This is an original press of Killers, which was a compilation with 4 extra tracks. Great album here. Love it. This is the Japan had an expanded version. This is the original German press. And I've had this since the 80s. My copy I've always had. And here's what the logo looks like. The label, I mean, there's the label. Awesome, Casablanca. So, you know, I've always loved Killers. All those the 4 extra Paul Stanley tracks are awesome on there with Bob Kulick on guitar. Killer stuff. Prompt 3, you wanted the best, you got the best. Show a compilation or best of release. Now, this is also a German pressing, original. But I got this about 10 years ago in a collection. And this is Kiss Best of Solo Albums. And I absolutely love this. I really wish this would have been a double record with each member having a half side. So that would have been really cool. But this is still great. Love it. And every time I hear this, I want to go play all the 4 solo albums in a row. So it's really cool. Love it. You know, it's Kiss. And here's what side's this? Here we go. Here's the label on that one. That sounds awesome too. It's a great sounding record. Okay. Prompt 4, you got to get all you can take. Show a Kiss bootleg. And now this one here I bought probably in 1988. I was visiting Portland, Oregon again. I always was looking through records and cassettes. And I found this in a local shop for $20 and bought it. This is Kiss live in Japan. This is awesome. The sound is, you know, it's bootleg, but it's cool. But it's got a killer guitar solo from Ace Frehley on here. It's just awesome. It's got, you know, live in Japan, it says 1980, but it's on the Unmasked tour, it looks like, or Dynasty tour, I mean, and it's got Detroit Rock City, Let It Go Rock and Roll, Firehouse, Making Love, Cold Gin, and Nothing to Lose. Then on the second side, you got God of Thunder with the solo stuff they do on there, Rock and Roll All Night, Black Diamond, but the guitar solo from Ace is awesome on here, worth it just for that. And look at that back cover, I love that. And I think this is just a pretty simple, oh, yeah, that's right, it's on this odd label here. Quick type. So there you go. That's an awesome record. I love that bootleg. Okay, up next. Now this is the one where I had a problem with. She's Got the Magic Touch. Show a Kiss online exclusive pressing. Now I don't really buy online. If I do, I have other people do it for me. I've never ordered from Kiss online. So I don't have any, but I will show this instead. This other version of Alive that I found in Boise last year. It's a Japanese pressing. It's kind of interesting. So here it is. And this is on the outer sleeve, the Japanese writing. It doesn't have an obi, but it's Japanese. And so you take this off. That sleeve has that. It's almost like the obi on that. And it's an awesome sound. And this actually sounds so good. You know, Japanese pressings are awesome. And then, you know, it has all the, I'll show you what the label looks like here on one of the records. They're both the same. And here we go. It's very similar to those ones I was just showing. Japanese. And then it doesn't have a booklet, but the booklet that American had, but it has this. And then it opens up and it's got all the lyrics in Japanese and in English. And, you know, sometimes the English lyrics are a little off, but that's all right. That's what I always love about Japanese pressings. You know, you get records that don't have lyrics in the US versions, and the Japanese will have them. So like all those first Van Halen records, for example, you can get all the lyrics in there that they were never in the US releases, and I love that about Japanese. So there's that one there. That's kind of one of my cheats right there. But, you know, I thought I'd show something for that. Okay, up next, prompt 6 is, you like my 7-inch leather heels. So show a 7-inch, I'll show a couple here. I got these back in a collection a while back, and these are related. And I actually had 3 of these, and I gave one to Melinda Murphy as a VCLT. The one that was, but this here is awesome. This is Talk to Me and Easy as It Seems, Japanese 7-inch. And it's just killer sounding. I mean, these Japanese, even the 7-inch Japanese are just awesome sounding. There we go. And I like how it's even got the lyrics. Here on the back of this sheet here, you got the lyrics for both songs. And it's killer. Love it. And then I also have this one here. I got it in the same collection. And this here is Tomorrow and Naked City. Now I gave her the one that had Shandy, and I can't remember what the B-side was. But this, but then you got, there's the lyrics in there with this one too. Awesome. So there's my 7-inch. Okay, up at prompt 7. I'm surprised you didn't use that as the 7th prompt. You're such a jewel in the rough. You want to show me your stuff. Show me your most valuable piece of Kiss vinyl. Now, I don't have, you know, some of the super exuberant Kiss vinyl. I don't buy a lot of copies or variants. As long as I have 1 or 2 good ones, I do it. But I do have this, and these two here were so close, and I go by my median and Discogs. So in Discogs, these are both right at $100 median. So one of them was like $400 and one was like $350 or something for high, but you can never tell what that high is. I always go by median. So at $100, you got Kiss, the original album. This is the one without Kissin' Time. Love it. I actually like this better. I mean, I don't mind the song Kissin' Time, but it really flows much better without it, with Deuce starting out the second side. It's just so awesome, and I just love it. I was so lucky to find this. You know, I've been looking for years, and all of a sudden at my local record store, I was looking, I go, do you know what you have here? And he's like, he didn't even realize what it was. And there we go, there's side 1, if you can see, starting with Deuce. Awesome, sounds killer. It's the best sounding version I have of the original Kiss classic record. Of course, one of the best debuts, if not the best debut by anybody ever. This is up in my top 5, maybe my number 1. It's right up there. And this one here was tied with it, and Dylan showed this on his too. This is the Kiss Killers, the reissue they did, and this is the Japanese, so it's got the expanded with Escape from the Island and Shandy on it, which is awesome. I love those. This is really good packaging. There's all the lyrics, and it's got this like foil type looking cover, and it's got all the goodies inside. The vinyl, here's what I'll just show one here. There's the custom labels on the pink, and then it's got, you know, all kinds of, it's got this booklet. There we go, pictures. Love this era of Kiss. It's actually my very favorite lineup because Eric Carr is my favorite drummer ever. I love Peter Criss too, but Eric Carr has just always been my favorite. You know, I grew up with the 80s is what I got into first. So, and then there's that. So there's that to $100 median. And then this one here is $125 median. It's a Kiss solo member. So this is the most valuable one Kiss related I have. And this was just reissued, just issued less than a year ago. It's already $125 median. This is Union. Awesome album. I have both of them, this one and the Blue Room. And the Blue Room is slightly less on the median. But this is just so good. And it's Bruce Kulick on lead guitar, along with John Corabi on the vocals from, you know, The Scream. And he did the self-titled Motley Crue record. Well, this album is so good. Bruce Kulick, just awesome. One of my favorite Kiss side projects, you could say, like from a member. It's so good. Union is awesome. And that one's 125 median. Okay, up next, but it has a lower high. Up next, number 8, You Gotta Get Away, Don't Want to Stay. So a solo album by a Kiss member that isn't from one of the 1978 4 solo albums. So I've got pretty much most of their stuff solo album. I have all the Ace Frehleys, the couple of Vinnie Vincent, which are up there. You know, I've got the White Tiger, which is Mark St. John's band. I got that Paul Stanley Soul Station. I'm missing, you know, a couple here and there. I need to get the Eric Carr. But this one here I thought I'd show. This Kiss Ace Frehley Anomaly, and this is an original pressing, number 661 out of 750. Double record, sounds awesome. One of my favorite solo records of his. My favorite probably has always been Trouble Walking, but this is right up there. And this is here's what the vinyl looks like on this. They both look like this. kind of clear blue. Goes with the cover pretty well. And I don't think, there's no inserts, but it's got, folds out, it's got all the lyrics. It doesn't have the lyrics, what am I saying? No, just some liner notes. Wish it had the lyrics. My CD has the lyrics. There you go. Kiss. Ace Frehley, Anomaly. Great album. That's one of the best Ace Frehley records. I love this one. So up next, now this is number 9. Just Call Me a 3-Time Loser. So this is the Kiss album. You have the most copies. I now have a 2-way tie, so I'll show them both. First up, we've got Destroyer. This is a 1970s version of Destroyer. Still in the shrink. Love it. Actually, Destroyer's not one of my favorite Kiss records. I love it, but there's so many I like better. There's the original Inner, and I don't think it's an original press, but it might be. It's early 70s, and there's the label there. Pete will be able to tell me. He knows all the labels like the back of his hand. What's what? I don't really pay as much attention, but that's an awesome sounding record there. And then I also have there's a reason I have 3 copies of this. The Kiss Resurrected. This is the orange Walmart exclusive. And this was a remix of Destroyer. And I also have the 45th Anniversary 2LP Deluxe Edition, which is really cool. And it's got, the remixed version. Here's the Inner gatefold double album. And then it's got Paul Stanley demos, Gene Simmons demos, and rarities on the second record. And yeah, it's awesome. Same looking thing. And then this one here is the second. And I believe this is just black wax, if I remember right. Yeah. Here's what that one looks like. And then my next one that I have is the tie is Creatures of the Night. I have 3 copies of, and this is an original Creatures of the Night. One of my favorite Kiss records. I absolutely love it. And this is a very clean original copy. And there's the label. And then this is the first version I actually had, was this. Creatures of the Night, the 80s version with Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr on it. Well, Eric Carr was on both of them, of course. And this has a slightly different track listing, with Saint and Sinner being the second to last song and Killer being the second song. They flip on this one. And I kind of grew up hearing it this way. Mercury. And, it's just got a standard, label, standard, all the lyrics in there. And then I also have the Half-Speed Master. This sounds awesome. It's on really thick stock. Killer. Love it. And I found this for $15 at Walmart on their big sale they had. And, it's just awesome sounding. So there we go. And then for number 10, it was a Drew Up My Blood and Signed It. That wasn't from a song, but this is showing an autographed piece of Kiss vinyl. Now, I don't have any autographed Kiss vinyl, but I do have this, if I can find it. Where'd I put it? Here we go. So this is the other one I had to cheat on because I didn't have an autographed Kiss vinyl, but I do have this, autographed by all 4 members. You got Eric Carr, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Bruce Kulick, autographed by all 4. My stepfather got this for me back in the late 80s. So this is the, it's the Asylum look. During Asylum. I also have one like this of Look It Up, just like this, with signed by all 4 members, and a Gene Simmons and an Ace Frehley solo, like just them. But they're on the wall and I can't get them off. This one I could get off because it was hung with a nail. The others are stuck on there. So you can see those in the room tour video if I ever do one again. So everyone, this is a great tag started by Dylan. Any Kiss fans out there, it'd be cool to see what you have. And I'll see you next time. And check out Dylan and Pete's videos. Thank you.